Paramahamsa Nityananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nityananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nityananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nityananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment. He is the 293rd Pontiff of the world's most ancient Hindu organization, Madurai Adinam.
Nityanandaya swagatam, anandanubhavaswadam, sarvaroga nivarakam, vande papa vinashaktam. Nityanandaya swagatam, nityamuktam nirvikalpam, dhyanaloka pradipakam, vande shantamayam bandham. Nityanandaya swagatam, anandagandha sancharam, sarvopadhi vinirmuktam.
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् ज्ञानसम्बन्धाचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्.
Russian scientists Graisna Fozer and Franz Bludorf, you should see their website, really amazing. They have done a lot of research and articles and very powerful discoveries. I am exactly quoting from their research. The human DNA is a biological internet with evidence that DNA can be influenced and reprogrammed by words and frequencies. Understand? The words and frequencies can directly program your DNA. It is biological internet. They call it as biological internet. These Russian scientists reveal that genetic code of 90% of the junk DNA or dormant DNA, which I was revealing that day, as the Jivatman, self in all of you. The part which these people call as a junk DNA or dormant DNA, but I call as Jivatman DNA, self DNA. 90% of the Jivatman DNA follows the rules of human languages. Understand, it's very powerful. I am revealing step by step, then I will connect it. How it can be applied in our life. The third important revelation. Greisner Foser and Franz Bludorf compared the rules of syntax, the way in which words are put together to form phrases and sentences, and semantics, study of meaning in language and grammar, and found out that alkalines of our DNA follow a regular grammar and set rules like our language. Always Raghupati Yogi used to tell me, he will teach different yoga for different parts of the body. See, for hands he will give some yoga. For eyes he will give some yoga. For tongue he will give some yoga. For nose he will give some yoga. And the most difficult part to work out is the cheek. Even for that he has some yoga. He will give some yoga. When I ask him, what is the yoga for brain? He will categorically tell, chant Sanskrit. The Sanskrit language, learn Sanskrit language, chant Sanskrit mantras. You should be surprised. How can brain have yoga by Sanskrit? He will insist that I chant the Surya Namaskar mantras during the postures. He will insist that mantra chanting is done. He used to ask, how can mantra have yoga for brain? But now I know. It's true. I can tell you from my experience, whatever is said and done, a person who speaks a decent cultured language naturally behaves, lives, thinks decently and culturally. I am really telling you. Because I wandered length and breadth of India, I have seen all kinds of dialects, people who speak dialects. I have seen Tamil alone, 20 versions. Kongu Tamil and Madurai, Chennai, in Chennai, Kuvam Tamil, and North Arcot district Tamil. In that, there are different languages, Mudaliyar Tamil, Counter Tamil. All kinds of dialects are seen. And in North, the different dialects of Bengali, different dialects of Hindi, I have seen. I tell you, from my experience I can tell you, the language, the standard of language a person speaks directly affects the way in which he thinks, the way in which he acts. It really affects. There may be exemptions, very few. like a person speaking very cultural language and behaving indecently. Very rare exemption. But as a nature, it doesn't happen. As a rule, it's a rule. Exemptions does not break the rule. It only enforces the possibility of existence of the rule. Understand? When I say all these candies are sweet, there may be one or two which are not sweet. That does not mean that rule is broken or weakened. Those 2-3 exemptions ensures the existence of the rule. Look in the other side. Look from the other side. All exemptions ensure the existence of the greater possibility of the rule. So maybe 1 or 2 exemptions. But otherwise I can say the language they speak, the cultured, clear, syntax, semantics, grammar they use directly affects the alkalines of our DNA. That is why the neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, really does a big transformation. I can tell you. See, NLP is not all. It does not lead to enlightenment, but it surely awakens much more than what you are now. The neuro-linguistic programming surely makes you more alive than what you are now. The next important discovery, truth. Scientist Garge J says, our DNA can be reprogrammed by speech when words are modulated on correct carrier and frequencies. Again and again and again. The Upanishads are chanted for so many different purposes. Not only your DNA can be altered, I tell you, the Upanishads came from such a high frequency. If a group of people whose DNAs are already altered by this chanting, if they chant, the cosmic DNA can be altered. That is why the chanting and homa brings rain. It brings whatever we need, the natural positive effects. Why do you think such big tsunami did not touch single temple? See, all over, from Kanyakumari to Chennai, at least 2,000 temples are there, which compounds usually gets washed by the wave. At least 2,000. Please understand. From Kanyakumari to Chennai, first of all, let us start with Kanyakumari Devi temple. From that to Chennai Tiruvattiur, Kashi Vishwanath temple, and Pattinattar Samadhi. At least 2,000 temples are there. Tiruchandur, Thoothukudi, just temples are there. Not a single temple was broken or damaged or disturbed. We may say, no, coincidence. No. If people whose DNAs are altered, reprogrammed by the sounds and mantras and frequencies, if they sit together and create those frequencies and sounds, the cosmos DNA can be reprogrammed. So a space, bit of cosmos, which is reprogrammed by the reprogrammed system of the body of the master, is energy field. Bit of the cosmos which is reprogrammed by the reprogrammed body of the master is energy field. That is why just very living in that field reprograms many of our DNA. Next truth. Since the basic structure of DNA and language is of same structure, one can simply use words and sentences of human language of proper frequencies. This proves DNA reacts to spoken words with proper frequencies. It directly, this is my own conclusion. Because of these researchers, these researchers directly or indirectly explains and proves how affirmations, hypnosis, words from spiritual masters affect your body and mind directly. This is the power of initiation, the process. Many of you people would have seen the video of people levitating during LEP. If you have attended LEP, you would have seen. I did not do anything. All I did is let your samana be balanced. Let the air energy inside you be balanced. Let whatever happens inside your body happen. That's all. Affirmation, Satya Sankalpa. Nothing else. Satya Sankalpa, over. Immediately, the whole thing fell in place. People started levitating, the raising. Understand? Ordinary Sankalpa is gravitation, Satya Sankalpa is levitation. Sankalpa, ordinary Sankalpa means will, words, thoughts created. Pulls you down, makes you more heavy. Satya Sankalpa makes you levitate. That is why whatever is said and done, when you listen to the great truths directly from Master, it just gets recorded into your DNA, becomes part of your DNA. This is the science why millions come to listen to the Masters, and how the Master's words directly gives experience to people. That's what I call transmission of lamp. Initiation. From a lit fire, only you can light the lamp. How much ever you sit and beg, please, please, why don't you lit yourself? How much ever you play and do any drama, any game, light cannot be lit by itself. Only from the lit fire, it can be lit. Transmission of lamp only can happen. Same way, how much ever you sit and talk in ordinary way, no. Only the reprogrammed DNA can transmit that frequency and right words and reprogram your DNA. That process only I call initiation. So it is very important to know the importance of initiation. If you sit and listen to the truth from an ordinary man who has intellectually memorized it, it is called learning, teaching and learning. If you sit and listen to a man who himself is practicing those truths, he is called Acharya, you are called Shishya. If you sit and listen to those truths, who has experienced it, he is called Guru, you are a Shishya. If you are listening to those truths from a being whose very DNA is programmed, it is called initiation. He is an incarnation, you are a devotee, it is called initiation. This is what exactly I am doing in Inner Awakening. Every session of Inner Awakening is an initiation. Awakening of one DNA. Every session of Inner Awakening. First working on life, means different energy centers. Then working on death, the different energy layers. Then working on koshas, sheets, different energy sheets, energy fields. Then working on the very core of energy. So every session is an initiation into the next step. Your DNA gets reprogrammed for enlightenment. In my life, there is an experience with a group of Tibetan monks. They made me sit inside the bell. Some 10 monks sit around the bell and rub the bell and go on chanting. I never realized the sound can create pain in your hair holes, in your pore. The bell has small holes through which I can breathe, but all the 10 sides they are sitting and rubbing the bell with a small wooden piece. That vibration created, that sound, within 5 minutes your ear stops listening to that sound. You can't hear it anymore. But every air pore feels the pain as if a needle is being inserted. And after half an hour the pain also disappears. It becomes like a pleasure. Very strong, deep pleasure. Then they chant the words like, you are deathless, you are painless, you have no hunger, you have no thirst, you have no old age. They chant like this. I now translated in negative way. They don't say you have no old age, they say you are ever young. They say you are always fulfilled. You are immortal. They declare in positive terms. And I was really shocked. Because first I thought, what can this do? Maybe a ceremony. I love usually these ceremonies. Anywhere, any ceremony I see, I'll go and sit. Whether it is a shraddha or I will not bother. Whether it is some sannyas ceremony is going on, or some shraddha is going on, some ceremony is going on, I'll go and sit. So I saw some ceremony going on. I asked, will you allow me? They said, are you sannyasi? I said, yes, I left the house long before. Then they put me in that ceremony. I started attending. Then I realized, now I can realize completely, the frequencies and language can reprogram your DNA. I can tell you, still I do not have anything called pain in my body. If you have seen me 10 days before, in Himalayas, 10-15 days before, there was a big wound, at least 4 to 5 inch wound, long, maybe 1/4 inch depth. There was a bleeding and big wound. It took 5 days for me to realize there was a wound. There was something has happened to the hand. Some brahmachari saw and told me. By the time it got healed by itself. Even though body is ordinary body, there is no such thing as pain. Still, it takes so much to push the food inside my system because there is no such thing as hunger. People have to remind me to drink water continuously because there is no thirst. The DNA reprogramming. The power of DNA is reprogramming. So your DNA can be reprogrammed by the right words, right chantings, right initiation from the incarnation whose DNA is completely reprogrammed. That is why the words heard from the Master spreads inside you like a fire and makes you experience. Scientist Garja Jayev says, human language did not appear coincidentally, but it is a reflection of our DNA. That is why Kashmir to Kanyakumari, when there was no communication like a telephone, television, telegraph, anything, Sahana Avatu is chanted in same frequency. Go to Kashmir Shaivites temples or Bhavani Mandir or Vaishnava Devi and go to Kanyakumari, Kanyadevi, Bhavati Mandir. You will see Sahana Avatu and Purnamatam being chanted in same tone, same frequency. So the language is not just coincident. It is the reflection of our DNA. So, through this I want you to understand 3 important truths. 1, be aware of the words you use. 2nd, listen to the great words only from the person who has experienced. 3rd thing, whenever you listen to the great words on higher frequencies from the person who has experienced, whose DNA is reprogrammed, it becomes your experience. That is what is initiation.
Pratyaksha Pada Puja. Offer your gratitude to the lotus feet of Paramahamsa Nityananda. Pratyaksha Pada Puja is a rare opportunity in a lifetime to express your surrender and gratitude directly at the feet of the Master, daily at 7 a.m. IST. You can register for e-Pada Puja online. You can receive individual darshan and blessings after the puja. You can send your blessings request to ntv@nityananda.org or call 91-974-22-03311. Make the best use of this rare opportunity to be in the space of the living enlightened Master.
The next research, the scientist and researcher Greg Braden gives evidences on how emotions change our DNA. Number 1, in case of gratitude, love and appreciation, DNA responded by relaxing and length become longer. Just simple, feeling love. Understand that every day, morning 1 hour when you do Guru Puja, your DNA is relaxed and length becomes longer. Because you are in the mood of gratitude, love and appreciation. 1 hour, DNA becoming longer is too much to live at least 130 years. I'm telling you. 1 hour is too much. I tell you, even 21 minutes of love and appreciation, feeling. That's one cycle. See, one cycle per day. If you keep anything alive, that is more than enough to keep you whole day in that experience. It's like any emotion maintained for a cycle becomes the louder voice in your system, because now morning you sit and more than actually 2 cycles you guys maintain. The Guru Puja is more than, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja you do is more than 2 cycles, around 42 minutes. So 2 cycles you are doing. In the 2 cycles, 1 cycle give it as a discount. Some moment maybe you are looking at the flower or looking at the mantra, or 1 or 2 moments you miss, leave it, it's okay. Even if 1 cycle, if you are able to maintain some feeling, some idea, some concept, that becomes the loudest concept uttered by your mind to your body in the whole day. Because you cannot maintain even the worst hatred or enmity for 1 cycle in a day, even if you try. Or you may have to sit and visualize, see that fellow's picture, remember that incident again and again. Anyway, you are not going to do that every day. And you won't be able to. So naturally, this gratitude, love and appreciation becomes the loudest information, loudest action, loudest voice of your system. The second research, in case of anger, fear, frustration and stress, DNA is tightened up, DNA becomes shorter, and DNA's codes are switched off. Means almost the partial death starts happening in you. The partial death becomes experience in you. So understand, the anger, fear and frustration and stress, even if it happens with the logic and reason, it harms you more than your enemy. As I told you yesterday, develop this habit of abhayam sarvabhutebhyo, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You will be a powerful person and warrior, both. The next, the truth is, this is from a website, Living Light Foundation. Once 12 strands of DNA are activated, emotions, beliefs, behavioral patterns that do not serve our life can be removed and replaced with vibration of love energy. That is what I call you becoming an incarnation. This is what has exactly happened to me at the age of 22, 2000. Year 2000, at the age of 22, this is what has happened to me. All the 12 strands got awakened. All the 12 strands of DNA got activated. So the emotions, beliefs, behavioral patterns that do not serve our life, life's purpose, is removed and replaced with vibrations of love energy. I can call it as vibrations of awareness, bliss energy. Different names you can give. And I realized I am an incarnation and I have a purpose to fulfill. And it is expressing. So understand, this is the science behind how an incarnation feels, acts and lives. There is another one, truth. The balancedexistence.com, this is the another one website which works, which gives information on this DNA science. Scientists experimented the change in emotions changes the shape of DNA. They infer that emotions change our physical DNA, and when we change, the world around us changes. Please understand. Oh God. Emotions change our physical DNA, And when we change, the world around us changes. Again, I always tell people, be blissful, wealth will be attracted towards you. You will attract all the right things, right situations, and right happenings. The world around you will change. The scientists are saying the same thing in different words. So the essence is, let you start practicing the higher human emotions and reprogram your system with higher human existence, in a higher way of existing, with higher reality. You will see your DNA changes, your health improves, your life changes, even the world around you changes completely. So let you all experience this change. Inner awakening is all about giving you the glimpse of this change. You are reprogrammed to the higher reality. All your human emotions are purified, and not only your health becomes strong, you are transformed physically. You learn the science of attracting the right changes around you. Because the Sangha gives you that intelligence. So to experience Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, be in inner awakening.
Putting all my trust in you, 'cause you know it's best for me to lead a blissful life, a life with no strife. Can't believe the things I do, just to spend a little time with you. Nothing will compare, I know you will take care.
You're always showing us compassion. Your love is endless like an ocean. Nityananda, Nityananda. My life's become a meditation. If this is we had a deep connection. Nityananda, Nityananda. Oh, every time I see you, my consciousness expands. Oh, heart begins again. Every time I think of you, I just start to meditate. To be better.
Here is a discovery from dailygalaxy.com, a website. So many scientists contribute to that website. DNA has been found to have a bizarre activity to put itself together even at a distance, when according to known science it should not be able to. I'll explain how the teleporting, telepathy, all these things are possible. It is just because of this truth. DNA has been found to have bizarre ability to put itself together even at a distance, when according to known science it should not be able to. Science is said to catch up with teleporting and telepathy and all that. Scientists Grezna and France found out that DNA can cause patterns in vacuum, producing magnetic wormholes. Please understand, it's a new word, wormholes. Wormholes are tunnels like connections between areas in universe through which DNA attracts bits of information outside time and space and passes them on to our consciousness. It was noted that this information can be passed on between individuals whose DNA is turned on or activated. Let me add my own experience for this. They say, the scientists are saying that DNA can cause patterns in vacuum producing magnetic wormholes. That wormholes can attract bits of information outside time and space. Patanjali again and again says, you don't need to learn just from the five senses, means seeing and hearing. I have an example of Vivekananda. Whatever he expressed in 9 years of his public life, even for you to study, it will take 39 years, his lifetime. This proves solidly, Vivekananda did not receive all information through eyes and ears. You can take my example. Whatever I expressed in last 8 years, even for you to study and understand, it will take at least 33 years. Forget about experiencing and expressing, just to study. Very clearly you can see, logically you can see very clearly, objectively you can see, this much of information cannot get into the system through ears and seeing or any other education method within last 33 years, even if I was studying all 33 years, 24 hours. Then how did these informations get into the system and comes out? This is the secret. DNA can create magnetic wormholes which receives bits of information outside time and space. That's what we call consciousness. So till the wormholes are created in your DNA, you need an outside master. Once the wormholes are created in your DNA, you don't need outside master there. Outside guru sits inside you as antar guru and teaches you. He sits inside you and goes on supplying the knowledge. And another one important information, the last punchline. It was noted that this information can be passed on between individuals whose DNA is turned on or activated. Whatever I downloaded through my wormholes and DNA can be transmitted to you without using my words, without you seeing or listening. Just if your DNA is activated or turned on. That is what I call initiation, Upanishad. Only in the beginning, you need to listen to my words. If the DNA gets activated or turned on, no need for words, no need for ordinary way of teaching. Just the transmission, the initiation, energy darshan is enough. That is what I was telling yesterday. It is, initiation is like an intense downloading into you. The knowledge and consciousness and information in this biomemory, in this DNA, is just transmitted. That is why these acharyas, once they are initiated, our trained teachers to go around and take classes, once they are initiated, there are thousands of information they never learnt from my books or heard from me, starts expressing through them. The answers which they would have never heard from me or read from my books suddenly starts expressing. How? This is the science. If your DNA is turned on or activated, these bits of information which gets downloaded through the wormholes created in DNA can just be transmitted without any conventional methods. This is what is happening during every initiation, every process in inner awakening. This is what I am doing in our Vidyalayas, in our Gurukuls. The transmission without using conventional methods is possible, was available, is available in our Vedic tradition. Was available in our Vedic tradition, is available in Nityananda mission. It's possible. Otherwise you can't imagine hundreds of shakas of Upanishads, Vedas. I mean by hearted, memorized. By the time the kids complete 7 years in our tradition, there are rishis. There were rishis. By the age of 7, they mastered the whole thing. Millions of slokas. Shankara. I can give you thousands of examples. How is it possible? They are not myth. They are not just stories. They are histories. Understand? It's possible through super DNA. In NSP, every session, I am trying to make your DNA into super DNA. Same way in the inner awakening, every session is to turn on, activate the DNA so that the experience can be transmitted as it is. There's one more very interesting bit of information I have. It's from psychedelicadventure.com, website psychedelicadventure.com. Scientists irradiated DNA with laser light. On a screen, wave pattern was formed. The wave pattern still remained even after removal of DNA. It infers, point 1, the energy from outside of space still flows through activated wormholes after DNA removal. Means, once the initiation is given, even if you are not physically around me, the connection and energy transmission constantly goes on. The second thing, hypercommunication, telepathy, remote sensing is definitely a part of human protocol. Means, it is possible for human beings. Telepathy or remote sensing is possible for human beings. That is why I tell you, telepathy and remote sensing is a living mechanism even if you don't believe it. Whenever you have fear about somebody, anger towards somebody, enmity towards somebody, fear that they may attack you, just do one simple process. I give you this as a technique. Sit and say, Abhayam Sarvabhudebhyo. I give refuge to the whole world. And nobody, no being need to be afraid of me. I am not here to attack anybody. Please understand, visualize. Every DNA in your body sends this message. Every hair hole, pore in your body is used as a transmitter for this message. Sit very nicely, calmly, still. Every night when I switch off and relax into myself, say, Abhayam Sarvabhudebhyo. Let the whole humanity be blessed with a deep abhaya. Nobody need to be afraid. Understand, still cosmos is alive. Still cosmos is alive. The big problem is the ordinary mind gets caught between these normal actions we need to do and the experience we need to carry. You just need little more expansion to comprehend the paradox of the life, that's all, nothing else. Whenever you have fear for somebody, about somebody, if you feel they may attack or do something harm, just sit and send a strong wave of abhayam sarvabhudebhyo. I am not enemy to anybody. I am not going to cherish enmity towards anybody. At the most, I may defend, protect myself, that's all. But I am not interested in attacking anybody. I am only interested in giving abhaya. Just send these waves. Not only that, when you send these waves of abhaya, you will see so much of healing happens in you. Even for defending, you will do minimum but right actions.
Dial the Avatar. Paramahamsa Nityananda answers your questions live during the morning satsang every day at 7:30 a.m. IST. We invite you to directly talk to Swamiji and receive his blessings for your life to be filled with bliss and all the auspiciousness. Dial the Avatar at 918027279999, extension 129.
Browsing through some of the articles about this epigenetics. This is Dr. Hassan Church. He has written a book called Genie in Our Genes. He has done a great service to Vedic tradition by proving many of the Vedic truths scientifically. Anybody digs in any field with the one goal of satya, truth, they land on Vedic tradition. In any field it can be. See, without having the vested interests of the marketing companies, marketing industry, in any field, anybody does research with satya. Satya as the goal, truth as the goal. Simply they land on Vedic tradition. I can say this Hassan Church is a rishi. He very clearly proves the quality of your consciousness directly transforms the way in which you exist physiologically, or your physiological existence is directly affected by the quality of your consciousness. The quality of your consciousness and the physiological existence are so closely connected the epigenetics. They have done so much of research on this field, on this epigenome. Epigenome is a protein particle responsible for your genes and all the happenings based on genes. Please understand, we are always taught genes are responsible for our diseases. No. It's not true. Even your DNA is not responsible. The quality of your consciousness is responsible. The quality of consciousness can directly change DNA. Asan Church very beautifully proves even the persistent diseases handed over to you by the previous generations, like cancer, sugar, blood pressure, heart diseases, even they can be just altered, changed, transformed by the quality of your consciousness. Another one research proves only 35% of your DNA is responsible, only 35%, for what you are, who you are, how you are, and all the major factors like your longevity, disease, health and everything. Only 35%. The science of epigenetics and the epigenome opens a new door to the great truths declared by Patanjali and Swatmarama. Patanjali in Raja Yoga Sutras and Swatmarama in Hatha Yoga Sutras. Shiva Sutras says very clearly, the man who is in perfect health just by his nisangalpa, means the intentionless consciousness, can transmit that to a human being or any being. That is what is exactly the science of healing. I have so many research references here today to share with you all.
Genius. Your child learns and experiences the true science of Vedic tradition. Notice a measurable increase in your child's performance. Daily yoga and powerful meditations. Innovative art processes based on life solutions. Activities that bring Vedic culture to life. For more information and registration, email us at ngenius@nityananda.org or visit www.innerawakening.org.
One is that Dawson Church research and the truth about the epigenome. I can see very clearly when I see these researchers, exactly the experience which is happening in me, in others when I do the healing, is scientifically recorded and proved. Usually I see how the healing happens in people. I can see very clearly when I put the hand on the person, the epigenome structure starts changing, which is responsible for the whole building. Please understand, DNA is not responsible for the building. DNA is like a brick. Out of brick we build buildings, but brick itself is not responsible for the plan. If there is a defective brick, there will be defective building. But brick does not carry the blueprint of the building. The epigenome is responsible for the blueprint of the building. I could see very clearly the epigenome transforms itself and DNA just alters as per the transformation of the epigenome, and clearly the body just remembers the health. Please understand, health is your nature. You don't need to create it. You just need to remember it. the remembrance immediately awakens and the health is back. That is why even the doctors were surprised and shocked when they see the persistent diseases like cancer, blood pressure, all those things get healed. Especially these long-term drug therapies are no more needed and people just walk out of diseases. Doctors were shocked. They asked me again and again, what do you do? What do you do? I tell them, who knows? I only know what happens. But now I am understanding, because of the scientific discoveries. Maybe I can say earlier also I understand what happens, but now only I know the words to transmit that understanding to you all. I don't know what happens, but I do not know these technical terms like epigenetics and epigenome. Now I understand those words also, because of these scientific researches. The quality of your consciousness, the quality of consciousness in which you are living is directly responsible. It can just alter, transform any disease, including diseases like cancer, arthritis, handed over to you through generations. If you go to the internet, tons and tons of research is done in this field. How the spiritual healing directly works. Not only during spiritual healing, even during initiations, and when people come and sit near me in my breathing space, I can see very clearly their epigenome starts getting awakened, restructures itself, realigns itself. There is another research I was reading. In a vacuum tube, if there are some electrons lying random, if a human DNA is introduced, immediately they all come to a clear, organized shape. They all just stand up. It's like when master enters, how you automatically stand up. They all just organize themselves. Even after the DNA, human DNA was removed, they all stay back in the same shape. Same way, I can see very clearly when people sit in my breathing space, especially during Pada Puja, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, I can see very clearly their body just recupes and transforms. I used to wonder how to express this clearly in scientific terms. Hassan Church has done that job. Very beautifully, very scientifically, he has explained. The science of epigenome and epigenetics is the revelation. It's a science which will which proves now the declarations of Patanjali and Swatmarama and all great Vedic rishis, and my own experience. The quality of your consciousness decides diseases, longevity, quality of life, pain, depression, everything. Even the persistent diseases like cancer, blood pressure, heart diseases, sugar, everything. So I tell you, wake up and raise your consciousness. Not only to transform your DNA, to transform the whole world. See, when you transform your DNA, it is not just the great service done to you alone. It will be the greatest service you are doing to the world, whole world. Because when your DNA is transformed, you see, when your consciousness is brought to certain level, whoever you touch will be impacted by your consciousness, and their epigenome also will be re-altered, and their DNA will be transformed, and they get back to their health. This is the science of healer's initiation. That's what I am doing. Not only I transformed my epigenome and transformed my DNA structure and brought the highest possible conscious expression in this body and mind. Whoever is touched, if they also can raise their consciousness, of course, when I touch, the physical and mental healing happens. And if they also put a little bit of their effort and take up the responsibility to receive it completely, then a complete epigenome transformation, DNA transformation happens in them, and they also start experiencing the higher and higher possibilities of the consciousness in their body mind. So naturally, when they touch somebody else, their epigenome gets awakened, the DNA gets transformed, the health starts happening in that person. This is what the ripple wave effect. I tell you, this spiritual healing and enlightenment based communities, this too will be our greatest contribution to the human civilization. And the epigenome of epigenetics, this science of epigenome and epigenetics, will legitimize what we are doing internationally. This science will legitimize what we are doing internationally, I tell you. Seeing the researchers and the reports, I am really shocked, not just surprised, shocked. Every word uttered by our rishis, every truth casually mentioned by our rishis, which I am bringing back to life experientially, is proved with solid reports and researches. I tell you, future is ours. If humanity is going to have future, it is ours. Not only that, Let us create new human beings. New human beings. It is time we create a breakthrough. We give a breakthrough for human beings. Like how gorilla, chimpanzee became human being. Now it is time for a human being to become enlightened being. Let us put all our efforts and energies strongly to raise the human consciousness more and more in all possible ways. This will be the greatest happening to the humanity. Even one moment, if you can unclutch and relax in restful awareness, or you can help somebody to unclutch and be in restful awareness, you are adding something great to the universe. Understand? Something great to the universe. Even if one moment you unclutch and rest in conscious, restful awareness, and help somebody to rest in restful awareness, raising consciousness, you contributed something great to the humanity. Understand? You contributed something great to the humanity. Let's popularize these great researches on this epigenetics and the epigenome, the ideas about the epigenome. Epigenome can be changed through conscious choices regardless of what we have been handed over through generations. Add more and more joy, laughter, love, life, dance, bliss, restful awareness to the humanity. Let us create intense, conscious cyclones, superconscious tsunamis. All over the world. Save the humanity, human consciousness, and human health. All you guys decide two things strongly. One, from now you will live in the highest possible consciousness continuously. Second, even if you leave the body, you will get back to serve the world in this highest consciousness. We need more and more people in human body to remove the inhumanity from humanity. We need more and more people in human body to remove inhumanity in humanity. It's time. We really need. Actually, when I go through the scientific researches, even I realize more and more the urgency with which we need to create N communities, urgency with which we need to create the N civilization. urgency with which we need to radiate enlightenment. So let the urge become the urgent. Let you all radiate enlightenment. Let you all achieve and radiate the eternal bliss. Nityananda. Thank you.
Welcome to Inner Awakening, the most powerful personal transformation retreat you could ever experience. In just 21 days, thousands are already experiencing the shortest route to constantly high energy levels, visible anti-aging, healing of chronic diseases, fulfilling relationships, and higher states of consciousness. What is the secret behind this transformation?
Kundalini means the inner potential energy. Once it is awakened, opens the different doors for the conscious experience in you. I can say which is a master key for all extraordinary spiritual experiences.
This extraordinary program is conducted personally by Paramahamsa Nityananda in the vibrant atmosphere of Nityananda Dhyanapitham Ashram. Open yourself to the benefits of Nitya Yoga and practical meditation. Experience physical and mental healing. Discover simple ways to handle life with success. Above all, enjoy individual darshan and blessings from Paramahamsa Nityananda every day. Take 21 days for yourself and carry home the transformation of a lifetime.